So to make the rainbow topper for the top of a cake, I'm going to take you through colouring the fondant and making the actual rainbow as well. So I've got a decent amount of white fondant here. I've already added some gum tragacanth to it, quite a bit, so that it dries nice and hard, because obviously the rainbow's got to stand on its own on the top. So what I'm going to do, I've given that a good knead, and I'm just going to roll it into a sausage and cut it into 6 equal pieces. So it just has to be rough, so cut it in half, and then there we go. So there's your 6 equal pieces. So I'll start with the purple, because that's going to be the inside colour. So I'm actually going to do the smallest one of those, because we don't need as much of that. I'm going to fast forward through the colouring process, because it is just repeating itself every time. So I'm just adding a little bit of colour, and then I'm going to knead it and squidge it until it is the colour required, and then put it to one side. I'm going to do that with all of them, and then go back to normal speed. Okay, so I've actually cut out quite a lot of the colouring, because it was quite repetitive, but I just wanted to show you another way of mixing the colour, which is easier on your thumbs after a little while. So I just tend to use a rolling pin and just keep rolling, as you can see, and folding and rolling and folding, and actually it's a really easy way of getting the colour to run through all the fondant. So there you go. Okay, so I've tidied up a bit, and now we've got our 6 colours of fondant all coloured and ready. So one mistake I once made was making the rainbow the wrong way round. I did red, orange, yellow, green. Yeah, I did it the wrong way round, because obviously the purple is supposed to be in the middle. So I have recorded this video before and messed it up. So this is my second attempt. Okay, so we're going to take the purple, and as we always do, just give it a quick roll between the palms, putting some pressure on just to make it nice and smooth, and then we're going to roll it into a sausage. So start off with in your hands. Now you can make the sausages as thin or as thick as you like. Now obviously I've got too much purple here, but I wanted the same amount of each one, just to you know, show how to do it. So what I'm going to do is use a cake smoother here. If you haven't got anything like this, then you can just use your hands. You can see that I've got that quite nice and smooth without, but this just makes sure that it is nice and smooth. Don't need it smooth the whole way along, so I am going to be cutting quite a bit of this one off. This is going on the top of a 7-inch round cake, so it doesn't need to be massive. And I'm actually using I don't know, what is it, 1.5 inch maybe, cutter. You can use any size you like, but mine needs to, as I say, go on a 7-inch round cake. So I'm starting off, this is the center, that's how large the hole in the center is going to be. So I'm just going to place that there, and then just wrap the purple around it. And you see there's far too much there, so I'm actually just going to cut it off, leaving still quite a tail, because we don't know where we want the tail. So I'm just going to put that up there. So the next one we need is blue, and this is just a case of repeating that process 6 times. So you can see that it's really quite a simple process. So just again, making the sausage, make it as smooth as you can with your hands, and then use a smoother just to make it nice and smooth as you go along. I'm going to use this end because this is the smoothest end, so that's probably about the same. And just pop that round there, and again just cut it off where you don't need it. Put those to one side. So my fondant is quite nice and fresh and still a bit tacky, so I don't particularly need to glue it, but just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to peel that away and just with some water go around the purple just so that they stick nicely together. There we go. So you can curl it as much round as you like, or just, you know, leave it so that it comes down vertically at the side. I quite like it round a little bit. So that's the second one. Red, orange, yellow, green. Yes. Just reminding myself of the rainbow colours. So again, roll the sausage. I'll probably just speed it up from here because it's fairly it's the same process every time, so I'll speed it up and see you at the end. Okay, so there you've got your rainbow. And what needs to happen now is that needs to be left to dry. At this point you can decide, I'm going to leave that in there just to maintain the shape, but you can decide at this point, I'm just going to straighten that out a little bit actually, and I'll tell you why. Because we're going to use cocktail sticks and they're going to go up inside a couple of the colours. So I'm just going to cut mine off to here. And then the cocktail sticks are going to go up inside a couple of the colours just so that it keeps them nice and straight. So there we are, I've straightened mine off there. And then when it's a little bit drier, I'm going to insert a couple of cocktail sticks into there, into a couple of the colours, just so that we can then stick it in the cake. So I'll just leave that to dry. Okay, so I've left this to dry just for a little while now. I've moved it onto one of my foam drying mats so that it can dry. But just to show you, I'm going to take a cocktail stick and I'm going to very, very carefully insert that into, twisting it as I go so I don't sort of squidge the fondant. I'm just going to insert that into one of the colours. I've gone into the blue there, and then I'm going to go into probably the yellow on this side as well, just to so we've got a little bit of extra support. So we just very, very, very gently be pushing those in, keep them nice and flat. I'm going to do, whoops, I'm going to do the same on this side. Again, just very, very flat. Insert that in and get this one here and go into the yellow again. Twisting as I go so we don't squidge the fondant. And there we are. That's when that's dry, that'll be nice. That'll go nicely into the top of the cake.